Hang on.
Testing 1 2 testing. Talk today about JR. So, say a few things and just honor him with a celebration of life. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here and for supporting Sherry and Jared. This is an honor for me to be here, and I know that everyone here also is here to honor JR and to support Sherry and Jared. What we're going to do first is I'm just going to read a few things about JR. Um, Sorry, hold on. Did everybody get a memory or of Jared? Excuse me, of JR's. There's a bunch over there. Everybody's welcome to take one and take it home with them. It's a lovely sentiment that was put together by Shauna Baker, and I want to thank her for all her work. Shauna is JR's niece, and she did a wonderful job in honoring him by decorating everything and putting together the eulogy and everything. So I'd like to go ahead and get started. JR was born into a large family. He was born on November 25th in 1963. He was the fifth of six siblings born to Jackie and Harry Furrow. Happy baby, weighing in at 6.9 pounds at birth. Having many siblings to love him, he grew into a bright, adventurous, and yet sometimes mischievous young boy. A boy who enjoyed fishing, biking, and shooting his BB gun. He also enjoyed coming to my backyard, knocking on the glass doors. But he used to have these big black framed glasses that he wore. He was about 5 years old. He would come to my back door, and he would knock on the back door, and he would ask if Bud could play. Bud was my dad. He loved, I know, right? He loved to go out there with Bud because Bud was out there chopping wood, putting, stacking wood and stuff. So he would come over and knock on those doors. And my mother, who just passed away a few years ago, every time she saw JR, who she loved just like a son, she would always remind him of that story of him coming to the backyard and knocking on our glass doors. And he was about 5 or 6 years old. He lived across the street from us. He was such a good boy. So later, he took pride in being part of a softball. Sorry about that. He, excuse me, he became part of a softball team, and he became a Cub Scout, which for JR was such an honor. He loved being a Cub Scout. Up until the day he passed, he would always talk about being a Cub Scout. He enjoyed that time in his life so much. During his teen years, he was happy spending time outside in nature, hiking and camping and hunting. JR had an interest in learning, but not a fan of spending his days inside a school building. As a resourceful and intelligent young man, in the start of 10th grade, JR joined Bates, which is a technical college around here, taking a diesel mechanics course while continuing to work towards his high school GED. And in 1983, that was the year to be proud of. He graduated early. Yeah, he really loved his mechanics too. He was good at the diesel mechanic. He graduated early with honors from both high school and the diesel mechanic school. And at 18, JR would go on to start a 22-year career as an accomplished diesel mechanic right out of high school. In the years to follow, he would create a life of love and memories that would bring him much earned pride. In 1984, he would go for a burger at a little burger stand in Parkland. And instead finding the love of his life, he ordered a burger from Sherry, and he pursued her, and he pursued her hard. Instead, he found the love of his life. JR was sure what he wanted, and he was persistent in the pursuit of a beautiful redhead. He knew that this was the woman of his dreams. And Sherry told me that although that JR didn't offer her a castle, she wants everybody to know this. He may not have given her a castle, but he provided her with everything that she had ever needed. He was her prince, and she always felt like a princess because of him. JR was such a loving man to his wife. Sorry. In August of 1984, they went on their first date to the B&I for a stroll for some ice cream. And after that, the rest was history. They fell in love, moved in together, and bought their first pet, Snubby, a little cockapoo, I believe it was. No, peekapoo, sorry. even after meeting, even after meeting his unorthodox and somewhat crazy family, or excuse me, even after, yeah, Sherry met what we're calling his unorthodox and crazy family. Sherry agreed to be his wife, and in 1986, the two made it official before family and the eyes of God, living a happy life together, being aunt and uncle to many nieces and nephews, and helping to raise my daughter Elise. Sherry had a daycare, and from the time Elise was 6 months old, she was part of this family. Um, she JR was daycare dad, and I was a single parent. I didn't have her father was never around, and so JR was her father basically. If she needed anything or to talk to someone, Sherry and JR were always there. And as you can see, we're still family. Both love spending time with them, playing games and teaching them how to do new things, having smiling faces. And they loved having kids in their home. And what they really wished for, though, was a child of their own. So in 1993, their wish came true. The day they brought their little boy, Jared Ryan Furrow, home was a proud day. They went down to California to pick him. I think everybody knows that Jared was adopted, and so they went down to pick Jared up. And on the way back, they had to stop at the motels, to sleep. And of course, they didn't have a crib or anything, so Jared.
I wasn't addressing George sleeping in the hotel and everything. So, I know I slept for the first night.
That's right. With his family, with his new family, His first night was spent in a dresser drawer. We have pictures somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah, but they loved him so much. They were so happy they chose him, and they were so blessed to have a son. Jr. was over the moon about having his own son. He loved nothing more than taking his son fishing, hunting, and hiking, teaching him how to work on cars or bikes, and always spending quality time together. In 2008, JR retired due to health reasons. After 22 years, it was a welcome transition to home life. He had more time to be with his family that he loved, gardening, enjoying smoking his weed, and having meals at his favorite restaurant, Denny's. Every morning he went to the Denny's on 108th and Pacific Avenue. The girls, the ladies knew exactly what he wanted. I think he ordered the same thing every day, didn't they?
Yep.
Biscuits and gravy.
And hash browns.
And hash browns.
With a Diet Coke.
And a Diet Coke. He always was seen with a Diet Coke. In 2012 brought more blessings to his life as his first granddaughter was born, later followed by a second granddaughter. Life was now officially complete. Those granddaughters are here, Rylan and CJ and Tristan. Tristan beat out the girls. So Jr. Was a Poppy. That's what they called him, was Poppy. Everyone knew JR to be reserved yet quirky. And an entertaining and quiet man, he was family oriented and loved nature. He was proud of himself. He was proud of the life he built. He was proud of the son he raised, who he passed down pieces of himself. Excuse me. His son grew to be a kind and thoughtful and with a loving heart. He spent his life with a woman who shared his heart and soul, a person he loved more than the world. He surrounded himself with family and friends of his choosing whom he loved and trusted. People he knew would love him and his family back in the same measure. JR spent his final years watching it as his many nieces and nephews and granddaughters grow from babies into caring, generous, funny, and loving little people. He lived a full, fulfilling life the way he wanted on his own terms. The goals JR accomplished in his life are that of which we all would hope to reach one day. God called Harry Wilbur Furrow home on March 10th, 2022. Until the day we meet again, we hold you in our hearts and in our memories. JR is survived by his wife and his son, Sherry and Jared Furrow. Siblings, Loretta Jones and Clayton Rogers. Daughter, Elise Drennan. Grandchildren, Rylan and CJ Drennan. And Tristan Drennan. And great niece, Claire, Adele, Chloe, and Stella Baker. Oh, and Nora. Let's not forget Nora Baker. Along with many other relatives and close friends whom he loved dearly. There are so many different memories that we can share. So in a little bit, I'm going to have people come up if they'd like to and share some memories of JR. But I think right now that our granddaughters want to say something. Rylan, do you want to come up here with me? CJ, you want to come up, honey? I'm going to stay up here with you, honey. It's all right. Do you know which one is yours? Is this one yours? This one? Tell us who you are. Thank you, CJ. Rylan, do you want to come up? Thank you, Riley. I'd like to go ahead and ask everyone, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer together. If you don't know it, it's on the back of the memorial card. Um, so I'd like everybody, if they would, to just bow their heads. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I also just picked out one verse. It's kind of my favorite. It's an easy one. It's John 3:16. I think everybody probably knows it. If you don't mind, it's real short. It says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him should not perish, but have eternal life." And what that means is, if you believe in God and you close your eyes for the last time, God's going to lift you up into heaven. And I know JR believed in God, so we know that JR is in heaven. And one day, the rest of us, we too will go up there and we will be able to reunite with all of those that we love. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and I thank everyone for Sherry for coming. She doesn't feel that she's going to. She doesn't feel that she would be able to come up here and say anything. So I just want everybody to know that JR spent more than half of his life loving her and taking care of his family. And nobody is more proud of that than Sherry and and Jared. And I remember when Jared was in the hospital with his head injury, he didn't know if he was going to live or die. And JR was there every day. And I remember JR and I talking, and the doctor didn't know if Jared would be okay or not, if he would ever be able to feed himself or anything. And JR told me straight up, he said, "I don't care. My son is coming home, and I will take care of him. I will do everything that he needs." And I thought to myself, what a loving man. What a man. And at that time, I knew where his heart lied, and that was with his family. He always took care of his family. So at this time, I'm going to ask for people to come up and share any memories that they may have or that they want to share. It's not mandatory, of course, but I think it would be nice if the rest of us could hear some memories or something that you know about JR that you'd like to share. yourselves. Anybody wants to give Sherry a hug, I'm sure she'll be more than welcome to take it. All right? Yeah. Again, thank you everyone for coming. We certainly do appreciate it. All the support. It's great. Nobody besides me. Okay. Join my. Open everything up right now. Okay. Do it again. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's good. There's some people that are together that. Oh, it's you can take their favorite and yes. I better grab another water. Put in there.
You're not here, my friend. Why? I'll tell you right there. Chill out.
You gonna get lined for some kind of money? You don't know yet? Ryland, did you get a, did you want to tip of this? Was there a pit up there? Did you want to write a memory? Okay, good job. What are you looking for, Michael? The beginning Seahawks. It's the Seahawks one. I'm Jody. Hi, Jody.
I had spinach, fresh baguette bread, and a sirloin.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. Let's. Move the plates up there. You are.
Guys, I hope you like it.
Get some of my dip right now. Here? No, right here. And bag of fresh sliced. Okay.
And on the middle of the plate.
He does. He knows. He's got his wrap around his finger. Bye, Sherry.
The spinach is really stringy this time.
You want me to do that fast? I'm not hungry. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, fun.
Oh, but, you know, well, there you go. Now we met. Oh, you're leaving? All right.
Make sure you sit down and you can do whatever you want.
You guys. You're not. Oliver, yeah. Oh, yeah. I like salad. If you almost looked at my plate. No, you're all right. It's great. Yes, Chris. You want me to make you food? What? And they're sitting down.
If it was eating doing that, you gotta be respectful, man. Nobody wants to talk about basketball, play and all that. How much, Joe?
Oh, thank you. I didn't unleash it, and I made them slice it first. Like my little almost do that one. Yeah, and I didn't unleash it until right now. Sherry. All right. There's three of them. And I'm like, go drop in.
I'll learn today then.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, your kids are grandkids, so you are mama. I caught myself the other day, and I caught myself. We always say night.
Right, oh yeah. We had no hook up to eat with the kids. Start running to you. What we doing? That's all right. Yeah, I think I was. Girls, boys.
Lady.
Well, I was on the I'm not sure if I was going up on it. I know right away. I have to kind of eat my way.
I think I got my dip. This is fresh. I didn't sip. Oh, are you? Bread is still soft. Yeah. You want, girl. You make a bit. It's good. Thank you, sis. The lemon thing? They got meatballs. Yeah, perfect. Sometimes I'll just put them in the short. Yeah. And then but you have what do you want? That's what you like. You plate? You want to come and get a plate with me? Ready? All right. Ready. 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 You want to get a plate with me?
You know I'm joking. You give you something to eat? What else they got? I think the red sauce. Are you not hungry or are you hungry but you don't?
Well, we gotta get this on. Oh, you did? Yeah, because that's what he wanted. I got it. Thank you. Who wants the cup? Is that what that is? Oh, you're lovely. Oh, you like our cup? All right, buddy. Oops, sorry. What is this?
Are you done? Do you want more?
This not bad.
I got some more of those.
Like spaghetti.
More just sour. This one's actually.
Down here
This one.
at the end.
Hi.
Leave in there.
Hey Gloria.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Nah, you're doing great. You look-
Oh, thank you.
I like your glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, they're orange lenses. Yeah, no, I don't.
I like talking to
When it's super hot in your room.
I think
I actually wouldn't have known that. I was just kidding.
You got radon?
No, these are.
have a sleepover. In August.
Yeah, I mean.
Yep.
$20, how do you go wrong? They're different on the one side. Where's that? For the former, right? That's talking.
They are old enough to figure it out. Are they swinging? I know.
Yeah, when I come back. Yes, I did.
No, jumping your Honda 450, no helmet on, you got your steel toe roof and rubber boots on. That's you. That was you. Scotty and Brian just stand and you fly up the hill climb. Good time. Roof boots. Bright yellow steel toes. Extra tough.
No helmet.
No helmet. No helmet.
Michael?
Yeah.
That sounds like him.
Yeah.
Go back there and change his clothes. Really? Let's go, boys.
Stop at the gas station. I saw you drinking something.